pleasure to meet you all. Hi Aya, hi Nur al-Huda, hello ya Marwa, welcome Yusuf, welcome Malak, welcome Jolly, welcome Andrew, welcome Abdul Aziz, welcome Hania, welcome Marwa, welcome Affat. Let me see here. Welcome iPhone. Can I ask you please to change your name so that I can know who you are? All right. I think today, thank you. All right. You can use your microphones whenever you want to. It's a pleasure to meet you guys. I'm Dr. Zainab. I teach English at MIU, and I used to teach at American international schools for many, many years. I've taught 2nd grade and 6th grade and 7th grade and 8th grade and 9th grade and 10th grade and 11th grade, 12th grade. And I've taught ACT and SAT and EST. I've taught everything. And now I'm teaching at the university. It's a pleasure to meet you all. All right. And today, inshallah, we're going to take a reading lesson. Okay. I'm going to introduce you to some reading hacks. And I'm gonna tell you how to approach a reading passage. Okay, have you guys taken reading from before? Have you guys attended reading sessions? Do you have any idea about the SATs?
Not really, no.
Not really? Okay, so you guys are what, 9th graders, 10th graders, 12th graders? Man antum.
I'm an 8th grader. I'm an 8th grader.
You're an 8th grader. Wallahi,
yeah.
Abdul Aziz, that's great that you're starting so early, mashallah.
Yeah, I don't really know about the rest though.
All right, it's a pleasure to meet you. Mashallah.
You too,
Perfect.
thank you.
All right, 10th grader. All right, great. Okay, I have my own son. He's in 11th grade. We've been going through a lot of ups and downs. Probably heard about what's going on in Egypt with the minister and everything. But the thing that I always tell my son is whatever you study, whether it's ACT or SAT or whatever it is that you're studying, you're just gaining your language. And if you are enhancing your language, you're going to be able to answer whatever exam you are answering. Okay? All right, let me introduce you to the reading section on the SATs. By the way, this is the hardest section on the exam for most people who are non-native speakers, okay? And that means like most of us, we are non-native speakers, all right? So for a lot of non-native speakers, I consider myself native because I lived in America most of my life. But I mean, like most people in the Arab world, they find the reading section really, really difficult. And in order to get a good grade on the reading section, the most important thing is that you have to be a good reader, okay? And I'm going to tell you about a site. I'd like you guys to use this site. It's very good because it shows you that you can start from a low level of comprehension and work your way up. It's called ReadWorks, okay? And I would like you guys to work on this site, even if you're not going to be working with me, but work on your own. All right. When you log in, okay, sign up. If you want full access to everything, you're going to sign up right here. Sign up as an educator so that you can get full access to everything, okay, and educate others about what you learned, so that you are honest about what you're doing, okay. Once you've signed up and you've logged in, okay, you'll have access to all these different passages, all these grade levels, okay? The thing is that I found out that a lot of my students, when they're taking SATs, they find the reading passages really, really difficult. And when I tested most of my students, they were actually reading at a 3rd grade or a 4th grade level. And the passages on the reading section of the SAT, they were at an 11th grade or 12th grade level, or even at a college level. So it's really difficult for them to understand the passages, and therefore it's really difficult for them to solve the passages, okay? And don't be embarrassed if you start at a 3rd grade or a 4th grade level. Let me tell you about myself. I lived in America most of my life, and then my dad, he wanted to, thank you, Munaya. my dad, he wanted us to learn Arabic, so we came back from America and we went to Saudi Arabia, okay? And when we went to Saudi Arabia, I didn't know how to read and write in Arabic. So my dad, he made us go to Arabic schools and they wouldn't allow us to go until we finished all our papers. I met the high school principal that day and she was telling me, انتي بتعرفي عربي? And I'm like, oh, أنا بعرف عربي. And she's like, انتي أخدتي أدب? So I'm like, أدب؟ هو أنا قليلة الأدب؟ أنا أخدت أدب. قالت لي طيب انتي أخدتي بلاغة؟ And I'm like, بلاغة؟ علامات البلوغ؟ أنا أخدت بلاغة. Okay, in my mind I'm just saying this. And then she's like, طب أخدتي نحو؟ And I'm like, نحو؟ يعني إيه نحو? And she was like, حروف الجر. And I'm like, حروف الجر؟ طب أنا أعرف حروف الجر. That's all I knew في النحو. And it turned out إن الموضوع أكبر بكتير من اللي أنا كنت متوقعة. المهم, finally they accepted our papers and the school year was over and it was دور الثاني. كان عندنا بس شهرين. We only have 2 months to study and they told us we can go and take the exams with people who had flunked, okay? And I didn't know how to read and write. You know what I did? I went and I got books from أولى ابتدائي عربي and I started to study النحو والأدب والقراءة until I reached ثالثة إعدادي. That's when I had to take the exam. I had to take it for ثالثة إعدادي even though I was in 9th grade in America. And I passed. I passed by studying everything in 2 months. I passed and I got a جيد جدا كمان, okay? So you guys can do it. You have it in you. If you have a hard time with the English, don't say I give up. You can do it. Pull yourselves up. Work on the site called readworks.org and pull up your comprehension skills. I'd like to show you just some of the things that are here. For example, this is a passage in 9th grade. You can actually listen to the passage being read and you can read along and there will be vocabulary words on the side and it follows the Common Core standards that you can take at school that you're supposed to be taking if you're in American school. And so it's helping you for the comprehension of school and it's helping you for the comprehension that can help you on the SATs. Okay, so that was a little bit about me. Let me show you what the exam actually looks like. This is the exam, okay? And today we said we're going to take reading. So the first part of the exam is the reading section, okay? Here's the reading section. It's 65 minutes, 52 questions. How many minutes did I say? How many minutes is the reading section? Who's paying attention? Answer in the chat. Yalla, How many minutes is the reading section? يا سلام عليك يا هنيا. أيوة كده. How many minutes did I say? How many minutes? Just Hania is paying attention? I do that a lot during my classes. You have to pay attention, okay? And I'd like you to answer in the chat so everybody can answer. I'm gonna ask you again, all right? Pay attention. So we said it's 65 minutes, 52 questions, okay? 65 minutes, 52 questions, all right? So, and you're going to have 5 passages. Let me show you what a passage looks like. This is a passage, okay? This is the passage. It's about 95 lines, and then you'll have about 10 to 11 questions per passage, okay? So you have 10 questions per passage. This is the passage. The first passage is always literature. It's always a story, okay? And then afterwards, you have other passages in the exam. You'll have a social science passage. It'll talk about people. And then you can have a science passage, or this, for example, is talking about DNA. So it's a science passage. The passage will come, and then you will have 10 or 11 questions on it, okay? And you will have a history passage. The history passages are usually pretty long and they're usually pretty old, so they're difficult, all right? So you have 52 questions, 65 minutes, 5 passages. So how many minutes does that give me for each passage? If I have 5 passages, 65 minutes. So how many minutes do I have per passage? 65 minutes. for 5 passages. How many passages does that give me? How many minutes per passage does that give me? If I have 65 minutes for 5 passages. Anybody here good at math? 65 divided by 5.
13 minutes. 13.
Excuse me?
13 minutes.
Yeah, perfect. Yes, 13 minutes. Perfect, Luca. Excellent. Andrew, it gives you about 13 minutes. And if you give yourselves excellent, Hania, perfect, Nur al-Huda, that gives you about 13 minutes per passage, okay? The SAT exam is really intense, okay? You have to be really focused and you have to be able to sit for a long time concentrating on solving your exam, all right? So you should take about 2 to 2.5 minutes, 2 to 2.5 minutes to read the passage. And you should take about a minute to a minute and a half to answer each of the questions. Okay, so you have 13 minutes per passage. The first passage, anybody notice what I said? The first passage, what kind of passage would that be? Anybody notice? Who is paying attention? The first passage, what kind of passage would that be? My daughter in the background, she's raising her hand. Wahoo! Perfect, Hania. You're going to be my favorite student. Fiction or literature, okay? Your first passage is always fiction or literature, okay? If we look at the questions, all right, and I'm going to give you, this is my first hack. This is really going to help you, inshallah. The questions, they always start, the first question is always a big idea question. What does that mean? Yani it's asking about the passage as a whole, okay? What's the big idea, the chronological order of the events. It'll ask you about the main idea, the summary, the purpose of the passage. It's asking you about the passage as a whole, okay? And the other questions, they're going to go in the chronological order of the passage. What does that mean? That means that the first question, it will be asking about the whole passage as a whole, okay? If it's a big idea question. Then the questions, they're going to go in order. So the first question, this is the second passage. It starts from line 1 to 9. The second question will be line 10. The third question will be what? Your answer is going to be after line 10. The question after that, it's going to be after line, whatever it is that you found your answer here, okay? So sometimes you'll have questions that don't have line references. For example, this question, for example, okay? It doesn't have a line reference, okay? Right here, all right? So I don't know where to find this answer, okay? It says here the author's main purpose of including the information about X-ray evidence and density is 2. So I don't know where to find the answer to this question. We said that answers to the questions are in the order of the passage. So number 25, you can find the answer somewhere between lines 12 and 19, that's in the question before it, and somewhere between the question after it, which is line 29 to 30. Okay, so you know that you're going to be looking for the answer to this question between line 29 and line 12. Okay, line 12 to 19. So you're probably going to be looking for the answer between line 19 and 29. Okay, أقول تاني. Write 1 if you understand, 2 if you don't understand. Go. 1, understand. 2 if you don't understand. In the chat. I love you, Hania. 1 if you understand. Perfect, Maluka. Perfect, Andrew. Perfect, Sarura. 1 if you understand. 2 if you don't understand. Just Sarah, Andrew, and Malak. Are you guys shy? Okay. Write 2 if you don't understand. I'm just looking to see if anybody does not understand. Anybody not understand? Okay, so that's my first hack for you today, okay? And it's very, very important because it'll help you to find your answers within the passage. Like, how do I read my passage? What do I look for in my passage? The first part of the passage, right up here, this is called the blurb, and it's the most important part of the passage, okay? Why? Because in the blurb, you're gonna find some really important information. You're gonna find the title that this passage is coming from. It's adapted from what from what book, from what magazine, from what novel, okay? And then it will give you the year that this was published in, and it will give you some background information, okay? So the first thing that you're gonna read is the blurb. This is called the, what is this called? What did I say? What did I say? The first part that you're gonna read, what are you gonna read? What are you gonna read? The blurb. Blurb. Excellent, excellent, perfect, yes. Perfect, Hania, perfect, Andrew. You're gonna be looking at the blurb. Perfect, Abdelaziz, excellent, okay? So what are you gonna be looking at first? You're gonna be looking at the blurb. Before I say anything, I just want you to remember the most important rule in the reading section is that your answer is always in the passage. Okay, this is the most important thing that you have to always remember. Any question that you get, your answer is always in the passage. Okay, you're never going to get an answer from your mind. You're never going to get your answer from somewhere outside of the passage. Your answer is always in the passage. دايما وأبدا. Okay, fine. When I read the blurb, I'm going to have to notice, the first thing I'm going to have to notice is the title. What is the title of this passage? الباسج ده جاي منين؟ جبته منين؟ What book or what reference, or is this adapted or exerted from? Where did I get it from? So when I read the blurb, this is my blurb, I'm looking for the title. What is the title of this article? What is the title of this book? All right. So if it's taken from a book, from something that is short, okay, like a short story, a magazine article, a newspaper article, a poem, the title is going to be written between quotation marks, okay? And the reason I'm telling you this is because I have a lot of students, even at university, they don't know how to punctuate titles. It's important that you know how to punctuate titles. So titles are always capitalized, and your title is always going to be capitalized, and if it's from something short, it's going to be between quotation marks, okay? Like, if your title is from something that is long, like a book, a novel, a movie, something that is long, the title is going to be italicized. Italicized if you're going to be writing it on the keyboard, and if you're handwriting it, you're supposed to underline it, okay? And this is something that you should do at school. If you're writing like an essay or something, you have to make sure that if you're writing a title of something long, it's capitalized and it's italicized, okay? Or it's underlined. So this is the title, The Amazing Adventures of Caliber Clay. All right? So when you're getting the title of something short, you know it's capitalized and it's between quotation marks. If it's the title of something long, you know that the title is going to be italicized and capitalized. Okay? Fine. So what's the first part that you are looking for in your passage? What's the first part that you're looking for in the passage? أحسنتي يا هانية. Perfect. What's the first thing I'm looking for in the passage? Excellent, Maluka. Perfect, ya Nuruddin. Nur al-Huda, excellent. The first thing that you're looking for is the blurb. And the first thing that you're looking for within the blurb is the title. If it's the title of something short, it's going to be written between, If it's the title of something short, it's going to be written between what?
Quotations, I think, right?
Excellent, ya Abdelaziz.
All right.
Excellent, ya Hania. Perfect, Maluka. Excellent, perfect, Malak. MashaAllah, la quwwata illa billah. It's going to be written between quotation marks. And if it's the title of something short, it's going to be written, Ahsanti ya Nur al-Huda. Perfect. It's going to be, Hi, Amr, come on, guys. Andrew, Basmala, Dareen, Iman, work with me, come on. Perfect, ya Malak. Perfect, Nur al-Huda. It's going to be italicized. Okay, so if something's short, it's between quotation marks. If it's the title of something long, it's gonna be capitalized and italicized. تمام؟ طيب, we said that's the first thing I'm looking for in my blurb. From the title, why do I look for the title? I'm looking for two things in my title. Number one, I'm looking for the tone. Tone means the author's attitude. How does the author feel? Is the author positive? Is the author negative? Is the author neutral? How does the author feel? And I'm looking for the topic. What is this passage going to be about? And on the SAT, unfortunately, they won't tell you if this passage is science or social science or history. So you're going to have to figure out what the passage is about. Okay? So here, for example, the title is Plastic Pollution in the World's Oceans. More than 5 trillion plastic pieces weighing over 250,000 tons afloat at sea. Is this tone positive or negative? What do you guys think? Is this tone positive or negative? Positive or negative? Perfect, Noor al-Huda. Excellent, Hania. Perfect, Maluka. You guys are amazing. Come on. Perfect, Amr. There you go. Perfect, Sarura. Yes, it is obviously negative. Plastic pollution is something very, very sad. Excellent, Abdulaziz. I love the way that you explained your answer. Abdulaziz, mashallah, he wrote negative because the blurb is talking about a big issue, a negative issue, plastic pollution. We have a huge problem in the world now about plastic pollution. Okay, so that's the first thing that's in your blurb. Okay, I'm looking for the title and I'm looking for the tone. The tone is negative. All right, how did I know it's negative? Because pollution is something negative. The issue here that's being discussed, the topic, is very negative. Tamam? All right, how about this one? It's called The Amazing Adventures of Caliber and Clay. Positive or negative? What do you guys think? Positive or negative? Positive or negative? Excellent, Sarah. Perfect, Tanya. Perfect, Maluka. Excellent, Abdulaziz. Ya salam, yeah. Hala wala hala. I'm scared to say your name wrong. Tell me how to say your name. Perfect, Noor al-Huda. Excellent, Abdulaziz. Perfect, Yadareen. Perfect, Basmala. Excellent, Noor al-Huda. Yes, mashallah, you guys are amazing. This is what? Positive, very positive. The amazing adventures. I wish I could go on amazing adventures. So this is obviously very positive. Okay, so why is it important to know the tone of your passage? The reason it's so important to know the tone of your passage is because the tone of your passage, if it's positive, your answers are going to be positive. And if it's negative, then your answers are going to be negative. Okay? But then I'm going to be asking myself, what's the topic? What's this passage about? It's just one word. Okay? So this title over here, what's the topic? What do you think the topic is? In this blurb, what do you think the topic is about? Excellent, Noor al-Huda. Excellent, yeah. Hania, perfect. Excellent, Maluka. Yes, perfect. It's gonna be tough. It's probably gonna be a scientific passage. It's probably about pollution. It's probably about plastic pollution. Perfect. Okay. And this one, The Amazing Adventures, is probably about adventures. Okay. So what am I looking for in my title? What am I looking for in my title? Two things I'm looking for in the title. What are the two things I look for within the title? Excellent, Ya Noor al-Huda. Perfect, Hania. Perfect, Sarura. Excellent, Maluka. MashaAllah, la quwwata illa billah. I have some really good students. Hi, guys. Perfect, Basmala. Excellent, Abdulaziz. I'm looking for two things. I'm looking for excellent, yeah. I'm so sorry, I don't know. Who's that? Your hala wala. I don't know. Just like the other day I went to the bank, somebody had sent me something A. So I'm like, ala wala. I didn't know if it was male or female. I didn't know. Okay, so معلش سامحيني, I don't know. Should I say hala wala? You want to use the mic and tell me? Okay, you might be shy. Or اكتبيه بالعربي مثلا so I can know حلا. Okay, ماشي. الله يحلي حياتك يا حلا. All right, so your answer here is what? Tone and topic. I'm looking for the tone and the topic in the title. Like, what else am I looking for in the blurb? This is the blurb, okay? I'm looking for the date, okay? When was this published? If you find something written before 1940, a passage written before 1940, you want to skip that passage because probably it's going to be a little bit difficult. Anybody know what happened in 1940? اللي حصل في العالم. What happened in 1940? What happened in 1940? Anybody have an idea? What happened in 1940?
A lot.
Yeah, a lot did happen, but do you
Yeah.
remember? What happened? You have no idea, Yamalek? Andrew?
Well, I mean,
what happened? Something really big happened worldwide in 1940. Yes, Amr, ya salam ala Amr. Excellent, ya hala. Perfect, Hanya. All right. What happened was World War II. It happened around 1940. Excellent, ya Hanya. Like, what happened when World War II happened? What happened? People, the way they started looking at the world changed. It was people that used to believe, yeah, perfect, even the Great Depression, you're right. What happened was that people, they were thinking that people used to think that the world is fine and we can trust everything and that science is gonna solve all the problems of the world. And then what happened was that people started to go into war, and there was the Great Depression, and people didn't live, and people killed one another, and so people they started to have a rebellion against everything, and they started to speak in a different way. They started to dress in a different way. They started to write in a different way. And so if you have a passage that's written before 1940, the way they speak or the way they describe what happens, it's going to be a little bit difficult. The language is going to be a little bit difficult than the language that you find in, very good, Yahania, the language that you find before 1940 is going to be different from the language that you find in 1940. Come on the exam, never ever skip an answer. I mean, you have to answer all the questions, but what you can do is you can start with the easy questions and go on to the more difficult ones. So if you find a difficult passage, a passage written before 1940, skip it and leave it to the end. Do the easy passages first, okay? So when was this passage written? When was this passage published? What year is written in the blurb over here? Perfect, Andrew. Excellent, Noor al-Huda. Perfect, Noor al-Huda. Excellent, Andrew. Perfect, Maluka. You are amazing. Yes, perfect, Sarura. Yes, 2014. Since it's written in 2014, I can go on and do this passage. It's not going to be too hard. Okay? Like this passage, when is it written? When is this passage written? When do you guys think this passage was written? Excellent, ya Maluka. Perfect. Perfect, Sarura. Excellent. Perfect, ya Noor al-Huda. Excellent. Perfect, ya Dareen. Excellent. Perfect, ya Hania. Okay, so this passage, it was written in 1847. It's written before 1940. So you'd expect that this passage is going to be a little difficult, all right? But can somebody tell me what kind of passage would this be? If the questions are from 1 to 10, it's going to be the first passage. What did I say the first passage is going to be? What's the first passage going to be? What kind of passage would that be? Science, social science, literature, history. Excellent, ya Noor al-Huda. Excellent, ya Hania. It's going to be excellent, Maluka. Excellent. All right. It's going to be probably excellent, Sarura. It's going to be literature. Okay. So if your first passage is written before 1940, you can go ahead and do it. Mafish mushkila. Okay. Right. Because it's a story. And stories are probably going to be interesting to you. So you're going to probably be able to understand it. But all other passages, if they're written before 1940, leave it until the end because it's going to be a little difficult. Okay? Fine. So What date did I say that you should skip a passage if it's written before which date? Perfect, Noor al-Huda. Perfect, Maluka. Excellent, Tanya. Perfect, Abdelaziz. Excellent, Yasara. Perfect, Hala. Perfect, Basmala. All right, you guys are excellent. Excellent. Perfect, Andrew. Perfect. All right, now, also, when you are reading, you're going to read the whole first paragraph, okay? The first paragraph. This is my blurb. This is the first paragraph. There's always indentation. What does it mean to indent? In the way that Americans write, every time they start a new paragraph, they indent. They go in like this, okay? On the space bar, you're going to press 5 spaces, or you can press tab, okay? The tab bar, the tab key, and it'll indent for you, okay? You leave a little space before your paragraph, okay? Like, from the first paragraph, this is your first paragraph. When you read, you're going to be looking for 2 main things. You're going to be reading for the main idea. What is the main idea? The main idea is the topic. Where did we get the topic from? What did we say? Where did we get the topic from? Give me that topic منين. Where did we get the topic from? I should by now already know the topic. Where did I get my topic from? Perfect, ya Maluka. Excellent. From the blurb. Khalas, I got it from the title. Okay, the topic. But the main idea is Ahsant ya Noor. Perfect, ya Hanya. Excellent. It's gonna be from the main idea. I'm gonna get it from the first paragraph. The main idea is the topic plus the so what. يعني so what? So what means, what is this passage about? What is this passage about? Okay, what is this passage about? All right, so what am I going to do? I'm going to read this part over here, and I'm going to ask myself, what's this passage discussing? All right, so here it says this passage is excerpted from, this is the author's name, this is the title, because it's written between quotation marks, and this is the date. Okay, so I know here that this is talking about how we need to change scientific research, okay? And if I read over here, it's going to talk to me about how we need to make a change to scientific research. Something's going on with, okay? Perfect, Yahania, excellent. All right. Seems like somebody's living in a war zone or something. All right, so that's that's from the first paragraph. Now, I'm always also going to be looking for one other thing in the first paragraph. I'm looking for the point of view. Okay, what does point of view mean? POV. POV means how the passage is written. Okay, how is the passage written? Is it written in first person point of view? Anybody have an idea about first person pronouns? في أي حد عنده فكرة؟ First person pronouns. Let's see who's good at English here. First person pronouns. حد عنده فكرة؟ أحسنت يا ملوكة. يا سلام على نور الهدى. ما شاء الله ما شاء الله. Anybody else know? First person means I'm talking about myself. So I'll be using I, me, we, us. All right? It's about Ahsant ya Andrew. Perfect. It's talking about myself. Very good, Yahania. I'm talking about myself. Okay? I, me, we, us. We're talking about ourselves. You're talking about yourself. Okay? And third person point of view, you're going to be using pronouns like he, she, it, they. You're talking about somebody. He, she, it, they. All right? Like, if you find one pronoun that's first person, your passage is going to be first person. Even if you find third person point of view pronouns. Okay? Why? If I find the word I, me, we, us, it's first person. Okay? But why is it important to know the point of view of the passage? Because if the passage is written in first person point of view, I, me, we, us, the narrator uses those kinds of pronouns, you know that this passage, you're going to be asked about the author's opinion. So pay attention to the author's opinion. So if I find out that this passage is written in first person point of view, I know that I'm going to be asked about the author's opinion. So I'm going to be looking for it as I read the passage. Okay? So I want you to skim this passage and tell me, is this written in first person point of view or third person point of view? What do you think? This passage right here, written in first person or third person? How is it written? Perfect, ya Sarura. Excellent. Perfect, Andrew. You're amazing. Perfect, Maluka. Excellent, Nur al-Huda. You are perfect. Perfect, Dareen. Excellent. Perfect, Hala. Excellent, Tanya. This is written in third person point of view. There's no I, we, us. Okay? It's all written in what? First person point of third person. It's written in third person point of view. Okay? Fine. After I read the first paragraph, I'm going to be reading the passage. Different people can read the passage differently. Okay? And you're going to have to figure out what way works best for you. Okay? You're going to have to figure out which way works best for you. Okay? So if you are a speedy reader, you can read very fast and it's easy for you to read very fast. You can read the whole passage, no problem. Okay? If you are a slower reader, like most students, you're going to read the blurb, you're going to read the first paragraph, and you're going to read the first and last sentence of every paragraph, because those are the ones that have the topic and concluding sentences. They'll tell you what the rest of the paragraph is about. Okay? And so I'm going to read the first and last lines of every paragraph. And then at the very end, I'm going to read the conclusion, the whole conclusion. All right? So you're going to read the whole conclusion, this conclusion at the very end. Okay? في الآخر خالص, you're going to read the conclusion. تمام? طيب. That's one way. Another way that you can do it is that you can read the first column and start with your questions. Another way is that you can read the blurb and the introduction and go to the questions. It's up to you how you read the passage. Okay? I like to read it all because I'm a speed reader. Most of my students, they can't read it all. They're going to have to read the blurb and the first paragraph, the first and last line of every paragraph, and finally the conclusion. Okay? So it's really up to you how you read it. You have to practice a lot, solve exams with timing. We said that you have 13 minutes per passage. Okay, 13 minutes per passage. You have 2 to 2.5 minutes, 2 to 2.5 minutes to read, and the rest of the time is to answer questions. Okay, and the rest of the time. So that will give you about a minute, a little bit more to answer the questions. All right. So how much you can read within those 2 to 2.5 minutes, it's up to you. Okay. It depends on how fast you can read. But while I am reading, I'm going to be looking for certain things. As I read, I will find certain things that will indicate that the author wants to say something very important. Okay. So when you are reading, you are looking for certain hacks. They will help you to find the places where you can find answers. Okay? So when the author wants to show you that there's a main idea, the author will use unusual punctuation. What I mean by unusual punctuation is a period, anything other than a period, a comma, or a semicolon. Okay? So if you find unusual punctuation, you're really lucky, by the way. The exam is still paperized, okay? It's still on paper. So you can write on your exam paper all you want. ممكن تكتب زي ما انت عايز في ورقة الامتحان نفسه. Okay? So you can, when you have your exam paper, you can write, if you find unusual punctuation, you want to highlight it. Things like dashes, these are dashes. Something like italics that's not written in straight lines, you're gonna highlight that, okay? Underline it. When you find a colon, pay attention to it. If you find quotation marks, underline that part. That part might be important. You might find an answer there. If you find exclamation marks, if you find parentheses, that might be a place that you'll find an answer. Like, there's a very important unusual punctuation mark that I did not add here. Who can think of an important punctuation mark I did not add here? There's a punctuation mark, an unusual punctuation mark, something other than a period, a comma, and a semicolon that I did not add here. Perfect, Dareen, you figured it out, huh? You put it for everyone to read. So, okay, perfect. All right, perfect. All right, excellent, excellent. Hala, perfect, Sarah. Excellent, Dareen. Huh? Anybody else? Can you think of another kind of punctuation mark? Well, I guess if you look in the chat, everybody will know. Okay, it is the question mark. Why is the question mark so important? The question mark is so important because an author will usually put it within your passage to show you that something important is coming up. They are called rhetorical questions. Rhetorical questions. Okay, and the author uses a rhetorical question to tell you, be careful, something important. I'm asking you this question not because I want an answer. I'm asking you this question so that you can pay attention. خلي بالك, okay? So they'll use a question mark to tell you, to show you that there is an important idea coming up. Pay attention to that important idea that's coming up, okay? So they'll use question marks. Okay, it's called a rhetorical question. They're asking the question not because they want an answer from you, but because something important is coming up. They're asking you a question so you can pay attention to something. It's an attention grabber. Do you guys know, maybe you took it at school for essays, you always start your essay with an attention grabber? One of the different kinds of attention grabbers are questions. Okay. So I said that when you find unusual punctuation, you want to underline it within your passage because you'll probably come back to that part because there's something important coming up. Okay, what is unusual punctuation? Any kind of punctuation other than, what 3 punctuation marks did I tell you are not part of unusual punctuation? What 3 kinds of punctuation marks?
Period, colon, and semicolon.
Yes, salam alayk ya Abdelaziz. Period, comma, and semicolons. Excellent, excellent. Yeah, Hania, perfect. Okay, so it's a period, a comma, and a semicolon. They are what? Not considered strange punctuation. Periods, commas, semicolons. Other than that, you want to pay attention to them because you'll probably have something important coming up. Okay, like, give me examples of unusual punctuation marks. Give me examples of unusual punctuation marks. Give me examples of unusual punctuation marks. Come on, guys. And chat. Are you guys writing and I can't see you? Well, perfect. Anything other than شايفة أي حاجة. طيب, let me change it so you can write publicly. Give me examples of unusual punctuation marks. Unusual punctuation marks. Okay, very good, ya Muhammad. Very good. Excellent, ya Hania. Perfect, Nuruddin. Anything except for a period, a comma, and a semicolon. Dashes, italics, colons, quotation marks, exclamation marks, parentheses, and so on. Okay, fine. I'm going to give you one more hack and then we're going to start solving. All right. What else is considered important as you are reading? You want to pay attention to it. You want to pay attention to transitions. And I should have said here opposition transitions. What do opposition transitions mean? Opposition transitions mean that the author is using words like but, however, yet, still, okay? These are transitions that show that the author is showing a different point of view. أحسنتي يا هانية، ما شاء الله عليكي. But, however, yet, still, although, on the contrary, on the other hand, in contrast, whereas, while, in spite of, despite, nevertheless, instead, rather than, misguided, and false. Why? Why are these so important? Because passages on the SAT, they're written in a manner called they say blah, 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 comma, but I say blah, 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 blah. Okay? So the author will say, it is common knowledge. It's well known. People say, scientists have agreed that blah, 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 blah. However, comma, but, comma, yet, comma, however, comma, although, whatever. I say رأيي أنا كذا كذا كذا. يعني هو هيقول هم بيقولوا أو بيتقال أو it's common knowledge كذا 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 ولكن رأيي كذا كذا كذا. So after the word ولكن, but, however, yet, still, the author will mention his or her main idea. Excellent, Andrew. Perfect, Yahania. Perfect, Noor and Huda. You guys are all writing very nice things in the chat. I really appreciate your participation. MashaAllah alaikum. Excellent. All right. So the author's point of view will come after the opposition transitions. Words like but, however, yet, still, although, on the contrary, on the other hand, in contrast, whereas, while, in spite of, despite, nevertheless, instead, rather than, misguided, false. All of those are transitions. They're called opposition transitions. What do I mean by opposition transitions? They show that some kind of opposition is happening. So if I find one of these words within my passage, pay attention to them, because it's probably a place that I'm gonna find something important. So if I find one of those words, underline them, pay attention to what comes after them, because that's where you're going to find a main idea. Okay? But give me examples of opposition transitions. Give me examples of opposition transitions. Sure. Very good, Yarimas. Excellent. Very good, Tanya. Perfect, Hania. Perfect, Noor al-Huda. MashaAllah. Excellent, Andrew. Perfect, Tanya. Perfect, Maluka. Excellent. Perfect, Tanya. Perfect, Mungo. There you go. Yeah. All right. Perfect. Excellent. All right. So words like nonetheless, but, on the other hand, in contrast. I'm asking about what? Opposition transitions, especially transitions that show opposition. Okay. So words like similarly, opposition transitions, okay, opposites, okay, so they show contrast, yes. So similarly would not show contrast, so it's not an opposition transition, okay, or thus it's not an opposition transition because it doesn't show something in the opposite. What does it show? It shows that thus would show cause and effect. Similarly would show that there's an addition of information, but I'm looking mainly for contrast transitions. Words like but, however, yet, still, although, on the contrary, on the other hand, in contrast. Why? Because they show that the author's main idea will come after these words, because the passages are written in a manner called they say, comma, opposition transition, I say, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so the author's main idea will come after the opposition transition. Okay, what did I say was the most important rule in SAT reading? At the very beginning, I said it. What's the very most important rule in the SAT reading? Reading the blurb.
I know.
No, you know.
That the answer is always in the passage.
Yes, salam alayki, ya salam. Several people answered in the chat, but you're the only one that actually knew.
I can't see the chat, by the way. I just can't see it.
Oh, okay.
Now I can see it. Never mind.
Okay. Maybe later on you can answer in the chat. Okay, so that. Okay, perfect. All right. All right. Thank you, Abdelaziz. I appreciate your enthusiasm. All right.
Thank
so
you.
your answer is always in the passage. That's the most important part of the whole lesson, is that you always know the answer is always in the passage. Never, ever answer from your mind. Okay? Like, نعيد تاني. From the very beginning, we said that when you are reading, the first thing that you are going to read is the, what did I say? The very first thing that you're going to read is the, what did I say? The, أحسنت يا نور الهدى. What are you going to read in the passage? The first thing you're going to read. Perfect, Tanya. Excellent, Sarah. You're going to be looking for the blurb. In the blurb, what's the first thing you're going to look for? In the blurb. What's the first thing that you're going to look for in the blurb? The? What are you going to look for in the blurb?
The title. The title.
Yeah, perfect, Abdelaziz. Excellent. You're going to be looking for the, excellent, Andrew. Perfect, Tanya. Perfect, Nur al-Huda. You're going to be looking for the title. If it's the title of something short, it's going to be capitalized and written between titles of something short are written between, capitalized and written between. Ahsant ya Malak. Perfect, ya Hania. Perfect, Nur al-Huda. Excellent, Andrew. They're going to be written between quotation marks. If it's the title of something long, it's going to be capitalized and written in. Perfect, Maluka. Excellent, Nur al-Huda. Excellent, Hania. Excellent, Sara. It's going to be written in. Excellent, Hania. It's going to be written in italics. Okay, from the title, we look for two things. What are the two things we said that we're going to look for in the title? What are the two things we said we're going to look for in the title? Excellent, ya Sarura. Perfect, ya Hania. Excellent. Yeah, you got one, but the other one, try again, ya Hania, for the second one. Perfect, yeah. The title, Title. I said the title. Perfect, ya Nur al-Huda. Excellent. Perfect, ya Hania. There we go. Excellent. All right. We're looking for the tone and the topic. The tone can be positive, negative, or neutral. And if it's positive, then my answers are mainly going to be positive. And if it's negative, then my answers are mainly going to be negative. Okay? And if it's neutral, then most of my answers are going to be neutral. Okay? And the topic we said is the one word that this whole passage is talking about. We said that we're also looking for something else in the blurb. What are we looking for in the blurb? Ya salam alayk ya Nur al-Huda. You expected my question, huh? In the blurb, we're looking for something else in the blurb. Ahsant ya Maluka. Perfect, ya Sara. Try again, Hania. Perfect, ya Hania. There you go. Excellent. Perfect, Nur al-Huda. Excellent, ya Sarura. We're looking for the date. What date did I say? You're going to skip a passage if it's written before what date and come to it at the end of your exam. Never skip a question on the exam, but you don't have to do it in order. Perfect, Nur al-Huda. Excellent, Sara. Perfect, ya Hania. Excellent, Nur al-Huda. Excellent, Maluka. All right, 1940. Okay, you're going to skip it and do it at the end. A passage that's written before 1940. Unless it's a literature passage, you can go ahead and do it because it's not going to be too difficult. Okay? We said that you're going to read the first paragraph. In the first paragraph, you're going to be looking for two things. What are you going to look for in the first paragraph? Two things that you're going to look for in the first paragraph. What are they? Perfect, ya Maluka. You're looking for? Excellent, ya Hania. Perfect, Andrew. What are the two things? Perfect, Sara. Excellent, Nur al-Huda. What are you looking for? Perfect, guys. You're looking for the main idea and the point of view. We said that first person point of view. What pronouns are used for first person point of view? What pronouns are used for first person point of view? Perfect, Maluka. Excellent, Tanya. Perfect, Nur al-Huda. Excellent, Andrew. No, actually, try again. First person. Excellent, ya Nur al-Huda. Perfect, Rimas. Excellent, Sarah. I, me, you. I, me, we, us, not you. Okay? I, me, us, we, our. We're talking about ourselves. If I find a first person point of view pronoun, that means they're going to ask me about what in the questions. They're going to ask me about the authors, If I find a first person point of view pronoun, that means they're going to ask me about the authors. أحسنت يا سارة. Perfect. ملوكة. They're going to ask me about. Okay, يا سلومة. Perfect يا نيماس. That's exactly what I want. Excellent. Hania. Perfect. Andrew. They're going to ask you about the author's point of view or opinion or the author's purpose. Okay, they're going to ask you about the author's point of view. Okay, طيب. Now, as we read, we said that we're going to be looking for unusual punctuation. We said that unusual punctuation is any punctuation except for 3. What are the 3 punctuation marks that are not considered strange punctuation? What are the 3 punctuation marks that are
periods,
not...
colons, and semicolons?
يا سلام عليك يا عبد العزيز. الله يفتح عليك. Okay, it's periods, commas, and semicolons. Okay? Like we said that the most important unusual punctuation is what's the most important unusual punctuation?
Question marks.
Yahoo! Perfect, Abdelaziz. It is question marks because they are asking a rhetorical question. They're asking you a question because they want you to pay attention to something. Okay? But we said also that when you are reading, you're going to be looking for opposition transitions. In the chat, please, I love your smiley face, Yahania. In the chat, I want you to write down some of the opposition transitions you're going to be looking for. Give me some examples of opposition transitions that you're going to be looking for. Excellent, Rimas. Perfect. Perfect, Tanya. Excellent. MashaAllah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Allahumma barik. Excellent, Sarah. Perfect, Tanya. Perfect, Nur al-Huda. Excellent, Malak. Perfect, Salma. Perfect, Nur al-Huda. Excellent, Andrew. Perfect, Tanya. You're looking for words like, but, however, yet, still, although, on the contrary, on the other hand, in contrast, whereas, while, in spite of, despite, nevertheless, instead, rather than, misguided, and false. Okay? Therefore, similarly, thus, they're not part of the opposition transitions. Okay? And we said that the most important rule of all rules is what? The most important rule of all rules is, Abdelaziz, what's the most important rule of all rules? Yeah, Abdelaziz, you said it in the beginning.
All right, yeah, that all the answers are in the passage.
Yahoo! Perfect. All the answers.
Sorry, I had to, my mic wasn't working.
It's okay.
But it's all right now.
All the answers are going to be in the passage. Your answer is always in the passage. Okay? All right, let's solve some literary comprehension questions. Okay? Literal comprehension questions. Okay? These are from the official exams. I like to classify questions on the exams, and I like to concentrate on one type of question per session. Okay, so we're going to do reading literal comprehension questions. What does it mean to do a literal comprehension question? It means that the question is going to ask you about something in the passage, okay? But the most important thing on the SATs is that your answer is going to be in the passage, but your answer is going to be written in a different and more general language. That means your answers are going to be paraphrases or synonyms for words in the passage. Your answer is always in the passage. But when you find your answer, honey, I don't know what you're talking about. This one? This one? Is this what you want? Like, so your answer is always in the passage. تمام؟ ولكن your answer is always going to be written in different and more general language. يعني إيه؟ يعني your answer is always going to be a paraphrase or synonym for something in the passage. All of the questions on the SAT are multiple choice, okay? A, B, D, A, B, C, D. You're going to have to choose between the multiple choice. You're not going to write down any answer in your own words, okay? And you're really lucky, by the way. A long time ago, it used to be that before 2016, the questions, they used to be written, they used to have 5 answer choices. Now you only have 4 answer choices. So alhamdulillah, you have like a 25% chance of getting your answer correct if you have no idea what you're doing, okay? Fine. So you don't have to write anything in your own words, but you're going to have to recognize the answer that's written in the passage in your answer choices, but the answer is going to be paraphrased or it's going to be a synonym, okay? I'm going to give you an example right now, okay? We're going to solve. I'm going to give you like a minute and a half to do this question, and then we'll discuss how to do it, okay? This is from exam 1, all right? And this is your question. Go ahead. Please write the answer in the chat. Excellent, Hania. Perfect. Excellent, Hania. Try again, Andrew. Try again, Rimas. Try again, Andrew. I love you, Hania. Perfect, Rimas. Excellent, Noor al-Huda. Excellent, Hania. Try again, Sarura. Try again, Nureya. Nureya. Can you write down your name in Arabic? عشان بس أقول اسمك صح. I love your name. Nuray? Am I saying it right? حبيبتي عنيا. نوري؟ اوكي ماشي. ولا نورية؟ I don't know. اكتبي بالعربي طيب بس افهم. معذرة يعني. I'm sorry. Alright. نوراي. نوراي؟ كده صح؟ نوراي? Okay, I love you. You know, when I was in America, they used to call me Zainab. They don't know how to pronounce Zainab. So I would tell them to call me Zizi, okay? So all my life, everybody used to call me Zizi. وبعدين, when I came to the Arab world, I found out that Zizi is the name of somebody that doesn't have a very good reputation, a notorious reputation. You can ask your parents who that would be. So I told nobody could call me Zizi anymore. You have to call me Zainab. And Zainab, this is what the Arabs, they say Zainab, all right? Zainab means, you know what, Hania? Yeah, you feel my problem? So Zainab, it means like جبانة يعني باللغة العربية it means جبانة. So I don't like people to call me Zainab. I like people to call me Zainab. And I like people to call me doctor, not teacher or miss, because I worked 12 years to get my PhD with high honors, alhamdulillah, بالمستوى. So I don't like people just to say miss. I like people to call me doctor. So Dr. Zainab, not Zizi. Anyway, let's do this passage. All right, so it says in the passage, Akira, حبيبتي يا هانيا, Akira addresses Chia with, how does Akira talk to Chia? Okay, this is a literal comprehension question. I'm going to go back and I'm going to see, how did Akira talk to Chia? Okay, so I'm reading this and it says, Akira, he says, Madame, so he's respecting her, said Akira. Forgive my disruption. I'm disrupting you. I'm doing something wrong or it's not normal. But, and I have an opposition transition here. So there's a lot of strange punctuation and there's an opposition transition. So I know this is something very important. I might get an answer from this part. I might. Okay. But with of urgency. His voice soft, refined. He straightened. Still a differential peek at her face. Okay, differential peek at her face. And then, so how does he talk to her? How does he talk to her? Affection, but not genuine love. بيتكلم معاها بحب. هو بيحب فيها. يا حبيبتي, no, he's not being affecting. He's not showing, he's showing respect, but he's not trying to woo her, okay? He's not, مش بيحاول يحببها فيه, okay? So it's not affection, it's not affection, but not genuine love, okay? طيب, objectivity, doesn't really care, but not complete impartiality. He doesn't really care, it doesn't make a difference to him. No, obviously he cares. He's coming and he's asking about something that's urgent, okay? Amusement, جاي يهزر معاها, amusement, but not mocking, disparagement. He's making fun of her. No, he's not making fun of her, and he's not having fun. Very good, Yanure. So my answer here is going to be what? D. He respects her, but he's not totally complying to her. Deference means that it's totally complying to her, totally respecting her. يعني, he's putting himself down for her. No, he's not doing that. Okay, he's respecting her, but he's not putting himself down for her, down to her. So your answer is D. Okay, so notice how my answer is in the passage. My hacks, they help me to find my answer. Okay, so the hacks, they help me to find the answer, and my answer is always in the passage. Your answer is what? Is using different words. That means it's a synonym, okay? It's a paraphrase of what's in the passage, okay? Like somebody, Rimas, she's asking me, but when I read the first and last sentence of each paragraph, I'm not sure of my answer, and I'm not really a fast reader, so what should I do? We started out by saying you have to become a fast reader. You have to enhance your comprehension skills, okay? You can know all the rules of نحو الصرف, okay? You can know all the rules of reading and writing, but if you're not strong in the language, if you're not a strong reader, you're not going to be able to apply what you've learned, okay? So I'm here to help you with the rules, but you have to work on yourself to become a fast reader. That's why I told you at the very beginning, you have to start using ReadWorks. There's another site called Read Theory, okay? Use those kinds of sites and read as much as you can so you can enhance your reading skills. If you don't like to read, watch YouTube and open the transcript so that you can listen and read in English. In order to learn English, don't use Arabic, okay? I have some students, they look for the meanings of words, they look for the translation of a word in Arabic. Don't do that, okay? That's one of the worst ways to learn a language. You won't learn the language, okay? ما تقعدش تترجم كل كلمة. Use English to learn English. Use English to learn English, okay? All right, let's continue. Ready? Steady, go. أحسنتي يا هانيا. Number 1. Try again يا نوراي. Perfect Maluka. Try again Rimas. Try again Rimas. Take your time, read closely. Try again Muhammad Usama. Excellent يا هانيا. Try again Nurai. Perfect Rimas. Excellent. Perfect Sarah. Try again Hania. Perfect Muhammad Usama. Excellent. Come on, Andrew. Everybody work with me. Did Andrew leave? Andrew left. Okay. All right. Perfect, Nurai. Excellent. Okay. So my answer here is going to be D. All right. Why? It says here, the second paragraph, lines 12 to 19. Okay. Lines 12 to 19. This is 15. This is 14, 13, 12. Okay. Till 12 to 19. What does the author claim to be a feature of biological interest? What is really interesting to him? What does he say here? The first feature of our structure, which is of biological interest, is that it consists of not one chain, but two. It has two chains. The DNA consists of two chains. So here it says biological interest. What is the first feature of biological interest? That it has two chains. Okay, two chains. There you go. All right, let's continue. Ready? Steady, go. Excellent يا هانيا. ما شاء الله. Perfect يا نور الهدى. Excellent. Try again, Muhammad Usama. Try again, Rimas. Where are you, Abdulaziz? Can you answer in the chat, please? Perfect, Maluka. Try again, Sarura. Try again, Dimas. Try again, Nurai. Perfect, yeah, Dimas. Excellent. Try again, Sarura. Try again, Ya Muhammad. Okay, my answer here is going to be A. Excellent, Ya Muhammad. It says the narrator indicates that Claude, Wilford, Irene, and Viola are what? Okay, so I'm going to read over here so I can see what he says about Claude, Wilford, and Viola. Okay, so what does he say? It says during the drive to the Carboll mansion, Lady Carlotta was impressively introduced to the nature of the charge that had been thrust upon her. So she's being introduced to these children. She's learned, thank you, Hania. She learned that Claude and Wilford were delicate, sensitive young people, and Irene had the artistic temperament highly developed, and that Viola was something or else of a mold equally commonplace among children of that class and type in the 20th century. So she learned that Viola, she's what? And the other children, okay, it's just like the other children. They're commonplace. Yani commonplace. Yani something that's just normal. Okay? Okay, so it's something that is normal. So what am I going to choose? Commonplace means what? It's a paraphrase for the word similar. Okay? Type. Here it says unusually creative and intelligent. Where did I find it? Here that talks about unusually creative and intelligent. Zakat. Nothing here about that. Your answer, your answer is going to be what? Right here. Okay, it's a paraphrase of what's in the passage. Here, hostile, this is very negative. Your passage here is very positive. Okay, it's neutral, equally commonplace, neutral. More educated, does it say, does it compare them to other kids that they're better than the other kids? No, it says they're equally commonplace, just like other kids. Okay? All right, let's continue. What is the meaning of hostile? Hostile means like being mean or hurting others. This is hostile, unfriendly. أحسنتِ يا ملوكة. All right? Okay, let's continue. Ready? Peer, your peer is your colleague, somebody who is your age, somebody who is just like you, of your same category, of the same type. This is peer. Okay? You're welcome. Ready? Steady? Go. Try again, Hania. Perfect, Hania. There you go. Perfect, Noor al-Huda. Try again, Muhammad. Try again, Maluka. Perfect, Malak. There you go. Try again, Rimas. Perfect. All right. Perfect, Rimas. Try again, Yasara. My answer here is going to be C. Okay? Like, تعالوا نشوف. How did I answer that? It says, after Kendall had the aha moment. Line 41. Okay? So, what happened here? It says, here's your aha moment. Always read a sentence from the beginning to the end. Never read a sentence halfway. So it says time and time again. Time and again, Terry had watched them run up the side of a hay bale, flapping all the while. Ken dashed out to see himself, and that was the aha moment. Yes, salam. The birds were using, strange punctuation, I'm going to pay attention to it. The birds were using their wings and legs cooperatively, he told me, and that single observation opened up a world of possibilities. What was the world of possibilities? Working together with Terry, who has since gone on to study locomotion, Ken came up with a series of ingenious experiments, filming the birds as they raced up textured ramps, tilted at increased angles. Okay, so what did he do? He started to film the birds as they go up tilted ramps at increasing angles. He observed, he watched them, how they dealt with gradually, okay, increasing angles. And gradually means steeper, increasing, okay, angles, steeper inclines. Okay, so he watched the birds as they go up, they go up steeper and steeper. Do you know what steep means? Steep means that it's very, very, it's almost vertical. This is, if you have a mountain that's straight up like this is very steep. If it's almost diagonal, this is not steep. But كل ما كان الموuntain, as the angle of the mountain gets higher and higher and higher, that means that you're getting an incline that is steeper and steeper and steeper. Okay, so he started to watch the birds as it goes up steeper inclines. Who doesn't understand? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 if you understand, 2 if you don't understand, 3 if you don't care, 4 if you love Dr. Zainab. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 if you understand, 2 if you don't understand, 3 if you don't care, 4 if you love Dr. Zainab. 1, 2, 3, 4. I love you. Hania, I love you, Nur al-Huda. I love you, Rimas. I love you, Manuka. I love you, Hana. Hania, I love you. Yeah. Nur al-Huda and Malak. All right. I love you, Muhammad. Allah يسعد قلبك يا رب. All right. عبد العزيز انت معايا ولا مش معايا ولا ايه؟ سرورة, do you understand? Everybody here understands? خلاص تمام? All right, let's continue. Ready? Steady? And go. Like, I just want to explain something to you. I love you, Sarura. Baby chuckers are kinds of birds. Okay, baby chuckers are kinds of birds. Okay. And partridges are kinds of birds, baby birds. Excellent, Yanur. Perfect, Yanimas. Perfect, Maluka. Muhammad Usama, try again. Try again, Yahania. Excellent, Yahania. There you go. Perfect, Muhammad Usama. There you go. Excellent. So it says the passage identifies which of the following as a factor that facilitated, that helped the baby chalkers traction walking on the steep ramps, okay, on the things that they're walking on, all right? So it says here, as the incline increased, the partridges, the birds, they began to flap. But opposition transition, pay attention to what happens after the opposition transition. They angled their wings differently from birds in flight. That means they changed the way they use their wings. So your answer here is B, the position of their flapping wings. They angled their wings differently. Okay? So when they were flapping their wings, they changed the position of their flapping wings. All right? So they angled their flapping wings differently. Okay? They angled it differently. That's the position of the wings. Okay? Everything else, it's not in the passage. They don't talk about speed in the passage. It doesn't talk about alternating the wing and the foot. It doesn't talk about a continued hopping motion. So you have to make sure that what you find in your answer is exactly what you have in the passage. Your answer is in the passage. Okay? Any questions? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 if you understand, 2 if you don't understand, 3 if you don't care, 4 if you love Dr. Zainab. I love you, Rimas. I love you, Nur al-Huda. Guys, are you with me? Who's awake? Perfect, Maluka, I love you. Abdulaziz, انت معايا ولا لا? Nuriye, do you understand? 1, 2, 3, 4. I love you, Hania. Excellent. All right. I love you, Munaya. Perfect, Munaya. Perfect, Abdulaziz. Are you Abdulaziz? Okay. Okay, Abdulaziz. Now I got you. Munaya. Okay. I got you. All right. That's Abdulaziz. Okay. Perfect, yeah, Hania. Okay, ماشي. Okay, now I got you. All right, let's continue. Ready? Steady. And go. Oh, this is a little difficult, but you can do it. You can do it. Excellent, Maluka. Really, this is not an easy question. You got it first. Excellent. أهلا بحضرتك. أهلا بك. Perfect, Tanya. Excellent. Perfect. Excellent, Rai. Excellent. Wow, Maluka. Perfect, Sarah. Excellent. Excellent, Nurai. This is easier. Perfect. Try again, Nur al-Huda. طب الحمد لله, it's a good question. I like this question برضو. Try again, Muhammad Osama. Perfect, Abdelaziz. Excellent. Excellent. Perfect. Okay, so it says, according to the author of passage 2, in order for society to progress, in order for society to become better, women must, your answer is going to be D, receive an education comparable to that of men. Where did I find it in my passage? Like I told you, my answer is always in the passage. It says contending. Contending means like underscoring. It means defending, supporting, okay? Contending for the rights of women, my main argument is built on this simple principle. So what's his argument? What's his main principle? That if she is not prepared by education to become the companion of man, she will not support the progress of knowledge and virtue. So in order for society to progress, in order for society to become better, what does a woman need? An education. She needs to get an education so that she can become what? To make society better. If she's not getting a good education, then she's not going to help the progress of the society. Okay? Like, anybody have any questions about this one? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 if you understand, 2 if you don't understand, 3 if you don't care, 4 if you love Dr. Zainab. I love you, Nur al-Huda. I love you, Hania. I love you, Rimas. I love you, Nurai. I love you, Hania. You are amazing. Alhamdulillah. I love you, Muhammad Osama. Alhamdulillah. I think that most of you got it. Alhamdulillah. Everybody seems to have understood. And it seems that everybody got it. Alhamdulillah. All right, let's try one more question and then we'll be done. All right, I love you, Nurulhuda. Okay, ready? Steady, go. I love you, Abdelaziz. Try again, Hania. ما تتسرعيش بالراحة. 1 by 1, you'll get it. Oh, perfect, Hania. Sorry. لا, استني. Oh, perfect, Hania. Sorry. You got it correct. Sorry. Perfect, Nurai. Perfect, Maluka. Perfect, Nur al-Huda. Excellent. معلش حقك عليا. Try again, Muhammad Osama. Perfect, Sarura. Excellent, Yarimas. MashaAllah. Everybody got it correct. Excellent. Perfect, Muhammad Usama. Excellent. Yeah, woo. Nurai, you're excellent. All right. I think, mashallah, all of you got it really quickly. Your answer here is going to be A. All right. Why? I'm going to read. It says the narrator indicates that Limey closes his history book because here I have an opposition transition, but before Limey got halfway through them, a coat he recognized as his father's was hung on the hook next to his chair. That means that his father joined him as at the table. Okay? One more question, and no, خلاص, that's enough. All right, هنكتفي بهذا القدر إن شاء الله. It was a pleasure meeting all of you. Alhamdulillah. I hope that you have learned and that you have enjoyed the session. It was a pleasure meeting you. See you guys, inshallah, hopefully some other time. Assalamu alaikum. Bye bye ya Nurai. Bye bye ya Hania. Bye bye ya Maluka. I loved you, wallahi. Bye bye ya Nura. Nur al-Huda. Assalamu alaikum. It was a pleasure يا هانية. شكرا لله يا مناي. السلام عليكم. It was interesting to have you too يا محمد. أهلا بيك. It was a pleasure. السلام عليكم.